You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The stop at the end of regulation. It was a clutch stop. Let's start there because this was 2 overtimes. End of regulation, Syracuse basketball. It's tied at 73 after a J.J. Starling coast-to-coast layup with 8.6 seconds left. And the Orange, they need a stop. In the first 2 games, the defense needed a stop in order to win the game. This time, they needed a stop just to force overtime. It was tied at 73 with 8.6 to go. And credit to Syracuse's defense on this one. Nelson turns it over, trying to feed his center in the middle, but it was an example of good help defense by Eddie Lampkin. I believe Nelson, his name is Jason Nelson, he beat his man off the dribble, driving down the right, but you had Eddie Lampkin there rotating. It forced Nelson to pass, and he makes an errant pass trying to find his center Dines, and that's why we got to overtime. And the reason why I bring up that possession, not only because it was a big possession in the game, but also because Youngstown State, their first 6 points, I know, and there were 95 of them because it was double overtime, but the first 6 points that they scored in this game all came on layups with no help defense. None, zero. Like, blow-bys are going to happen. They are, but you need a help defender. That's just how it works in basketball. And the first 6 points of the game, Syracuse did not have a help defender, which led to 3 layups for Youngstown State to open. On that last possession, look at that. Eddie Lampkin is there for help defense after I believe it was Starling that got beat. And it forced an errant pass. And now we're in overtime. I thought the play of the game was going to be this play where Eddie Lampkin is getting double teamed in the right post area. He's just outside of the paint. We're in the first overtime. There's about 2 minutes left. Syracuse is up by 3 at this point. And Eddie Lampkin all game long had showed off his passing skills. I mean, this isn't a hot take. He's the best passer on the team. It's not even close. He's the best passing player on this team. He might be the best passing big man in the country. He's just so good. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. And he gets doubled in the right post area. And he hits Chris Bell, who's standing all alone in the paint. Now, credit to Youngstown State. They recognized just when Bell got the ball. But to Bell's credit, he goes up strong, gets the layup to drop, and a foul. And he makes the free throw too. More on free throws in a moment. But that puts Syracuse up 84-78 with about a minute and 37 seconds left. After they then get a stop on defense, Jaquan Carlos had a great defensive possession on that one. I know he actually had a little bit of defense at the end. They eventually go up by 8 with a minute to go in the first overtime. Now, folks, when you're up 8 points with a minute left in the game, I don't care if it's regulation or overtime, you think you're going to win. Well, that's not what happened. Youngstown State hits 2 threes back-to-back. And then Jaquan Carlos misses 2 free throws with 17.7 seconds to go. Youngstown State goes down the other end with their free throws with Harper, and they tie the game at 86-86. So we go to double overtime. But in double overtime, that's where Syracuse basketball was able to hang on to the lead when they got it. Elijah Moore hit his first career collegiate 3 to open the overtime, put Syracuse up 89-87. It was off a great offensive rebound by Eddie Lampkin. When we get to stock up and stock down, I'm going to give you guys a little hint. Eddie Lampkin is going to be on the stock up. But Elijah Moore hits his first career collegiate 3. And the reason why Moore was in the game is because Carlos fouled out. And then from then on, Syracuse and Youngstown State, they were trading buckets. But I don't believe after Elijah Moore's 3, I don't think Syracuse trailed in this one after that. I don't think they did. They just kept going back and forth. And eventually, it came down to free throws. Syracuse hits their free throws. Both the freshmen do it, Elijah Moore and Donnie Freeman. And Syracuse wins this game 104-95. Leave your comments in the comment section below, your thoughts on this game. It was a wild one, but they found a way to win, and they are 3-0.